Hi, a very warm welcome to everyone. My name is Urja and I welcome you back to another beautiful episode of Empowering Journey series. So, are you an international student and you're feeling little unsure how you can actually get started with your very first resume here in Canada, or you need any other support in terms of your cover letters or maybe interviews? So, let me tell you, we have kept you covered. So, our today's guest is the best person who's going to guide you the best resources where you need to reach out to at your own colleges in terms of any kind of help that you need for your career. So, welcome, Gurkirat. Welcome to the Empowering Journey series.
Hi, Urja. Thank you for the lovely introduction. And thank you, Watts Group, for letting me being a part of Empower
Of
Journey.
course, of course. We're really delighted to have you here. So, we would like you to quickly just give us a brief introduction of yourself, like where are you from and which college are you studying, and exactly when did you move to Canada?
All right. So, my name is Gurkirat, and I am from Mohali, Punjab. And I recently came to Canada. Like, it's recent. It was 9 months ago in Jan 2023 at Georgetown College for my mobile apps development. It's a postgrad course. And during that course, I also got, like, currently I'm in that course, and I got the opportunity to be a career peer coach at Georgetown College as well.
Oh, so that's beautiful. So I would like you to break down a little bit more about your job title. You mentioned that you are a career peer coach. So what exactly is your job? Like, what do you do as a career peer coach?
All right, so I believe a little bit hint you get from the name itself, peer and career. So basically, I'm peer, and we are like we help other peers, other students, to alter their resumes. They help them with cover letters, their LinkedIn profiles, and all those stuff.
Okay. So if I'm not wrong, so anybody from Georgetown College, they can reach out to you, like any student who needs help.
Oh yes, for sure. Anybody from Georgetown can come visit us, or can always go online as well. There's this career services site, and we have a whole section in every college campus that's reserved for career services. And it's not just limited to us career peer coaches. We also have other career advisors, international advisors, and all the other stuff as well.
Okay. So is it just the help with like resumes, or it's like if somebody has any maybe interview lined up, they can come for.
All right. So
as well?
yeah, sorry. Okay. So I would say we cover it all. It depends what you're looking for, and also how you want to approach us. So firstly, there are like the career service is divided into three subparts. One is self-guidance, where career services has uploaded some stuff on their website, and you can just simply go to the resources. And if you are somebody who's like, I don't want to go to somebody and just I know I can do it all on my own if I get a certain guidance and resources, you can always opt for that self-guidance method and go to career services site and just look at the resources. Then there is in-person, and one is like there's in-person and virtual. So if for your convenience, actually, because if you opt for in-person or virtual, it's going to be the same career advisors that's going to be guiding you. But it's just for your convenience that if you're not available, like you aren't able to make it to campus, you can always go for a virtual session. And there are drop-ins as well. We have appointments as well. So it depends. You actually, for other colleges, it's going to be, most of the stuff is going to be the same, but like a little bit different from Georgetown. But what we do here is, for career advising, we help you prepare for interviews, and those are the things that our career advisors do. Those are like higher. They're better than us.
Okay.
So they're the ones who will help you out. They are basically the Georgetown staff, as we are the student staff. We are the student support staff, as career peer coach.
Right.
So they are Georgetown faculty, I believe. Okay, and we also have international advisory as well. If somebody who's having trouble with figuring out what permit they are on, if their permit allows them to do certain stuff or not, extension of work permits and study permits and stuff like that, whatnot, you can just always approach an international advisor and they'll just help guide you through it.
Right. So I guess that's a very beautiful initiative by the colleges, because when the students come, like when I came, I guess I barely had my resume, and I keep on like listening people here talking in the market that your resume needs to be as per the Canadian standards. So it's really good if students are getting that kind of support in terms of their career, right? From the colleges itself. What's better than that?
Yeah.
But the thing is, there are a lot of students who are totally unaware about this department. So as you mentioned that it could vary, like the way these career centers are working in different institutions.
You and guide you with your like resume building or cover letters, because firstly the format, even if you are an experienced individual in India,
Okay.
the format is different in Canada. A lot of stuff is different. You don't add in your personal details like age, gender, and stuff like that, which is very common in Indian resumes.
Right.
So little things like that makes a huge difference how a recruiter portrays you as a candidate. So I would say I would actually recommend everybody to just search out their career services in their colleges and just reach out to them and get your resumes and CVs sorted according to Canadian standards.
Right. So I guess you pulled a very important point here. It doesn't matter even if you're experienced, but because the Canadian market, they have certain like standards that they're set for their resumes. So it's always good if you have the right resources and it's within your college, right? You should just go ahead and walk in and just get your CV, just, have another pair of eyes, just see through it and see if there are any like errors there, or maybe it has to be more, modulated as per the Canadian standards. So it's good. And
exactly.
Yeah. So were you aware actually when you were a student? Were you aware about this department?
So for me, it was a different scenario. Like I wasn't aware of all these services that we have, like the college offered. And even if I knew that there was this career services department, but the thing with me was I always saw it was closed because I had my evening sessions. I had evening classes, and whenever I went to college, I was like, why this section of college is always closed? Because career services, like for George Brown, it generally operates till 4, which is like an hour before when the whole college starts to shut down. So it closes earlier than the whole college. So that's one thing. So how I got to know is I was fixated on getting a part-time. Like it all starts with every international student's journey starts with the part-time, right?
Of course.
So I was pretty pinpoint that I had this thing. I need to get an on-campus job, so that I could just experience the college environment, because I had these evening classes and stuff. So there was this position that was for front desk for the career services as a front desk. So I applied for that, and at that point, I didn't clear the interview, but the coordinator who conducted my interview, they gave me the feedback. And then at that point, I realized that there's in the email, I recognized the department said career services. And they were like, then I just researched a little bit about it, and I was like, okay, they provide services. But still, I never opted for that. Initially I said the self-guided person, I rely on that stuff, so I just read out the resources and do it my way. So that's what I did, and as soon as I realized that there was this opening and I applied for this, I kept the points that were made during my first interview for the front desk with the career services, and I cleared this one.
And you
so
got
I got
the job.
role. Yeah, exactly. And even when I was still I wasn't in the workspace, I didn't realize that we had an international advisor. I didn't realize that career advisors provide us the interview support, and also we have our career advisors provide every student, like if you book an appointment and stuff, you can get a 45-minute session completely to you in person, one-on-one, or like targeted on a specific goal. If you're trying to like switch from one field to another, or you're trying to apply in certain company or certain field,
Right.
how should you approach that? How they cover it all, from networking, from cover letters, resumes, you're improving your LinkedIn, even if your interview skills as well. So they get it all covered. So yeah, so when I joined in, then at that point I got to know, there are a lot more services that are available to get.
So all in all, I guess this department has something for everybody. Like you said,
for sure.
if you are somebody who's just want to start and just need that pair of eyes on your resume, you can go ahead and do that. Maybe you want to start from scratch. You don't know how exactly to build it. So you can seek help and you can get started with the process. And maybe you are in the middle of the process. You are somebody who's like a professional, but you're still trying to figure out, maybe like you have an interview that is lined up, or you want to maybe transition to some other things. So we have these specialized people, who can advise you from scratch. And are these career, like your department, holding any kind of sessions or networking events where student can connect with industries? Is that kind of opportunity also available for students?
Currently, I don't think so. We are conducting any such events.
Okay.
But for that, we have initiated a club, and I've been being a part of it. So the goal of that club is towards all this stuff, helping students to network and how to reach out to people and all the interviewing stuff. In fact, we just so there's not just this like, okay, all the boring and professional stuff. There's some cool stuff in it as well. So what our career services just introduced is there are these AR headsets which you can use to get a one-on-one interview with over a metaverse or some kind. Like you create an interview environment over those VR headsets, and that's something like that's cool as well
creative.
as it's experiential as well for students. It's rememberable, right?
Yes.
So it's also kind of a stuff that like lures more students in. Like there's this thing happening, and actually because it's not something that career services will benefit from, but it's what students will benefit from.
Exactly.
So I believe that career services is headed towards a good path to help students.
So I guess it's an amazing place. Like you mentioned, there's some creative stuff that's happening, and the amount of exposure a student can get, especially somebody who's just starting from scratch and they have no idea how they can, how they have to tackle the interview situation, and they're getting somebody to practice with and do one-to-one session with. What's better than that? It's like an opportunity that everybody should grab. And just one last question, like if I have to avail in services, maybe I'm in Georgetown, do I have to pay anything to avail the services, any additional?
Okay, so the good thing about it is you don't have to pay.
Okay.
But the bad thing is you have already paid. So
makes sense.
Your tuition fees includes all those services.
Everything.
So the most of the times what happens with us is, especially the international students, is we are so caught up with our project stuff, keeping our fees in mind that we have to pay this stuff. Also doing the part-time, we don't get that much of time and the awareness to avail the facilities that we have already paid for in our semester fees, right? So career services being part of it, and there are many more services like athletics. We at Georgetown, we have Star GBC and stuff like that. So there are a lot of stuff that happens, and if you go through your the fee summary, you get to know like, oh, I have paid for this level, right? I should better wait. Like we being Indians, we should like try to get the most of it.
That's true. That's really true. So there's no charges that you have to pay. We can do one-on-one, virtual. We can go in person and avail the services. You can go n number of times and ask as many questions as you want. You can have one-to-one interactions, maybe like small, here and there. You want some tweakings in your resume, or maybe you want to optimize your LinkedIn. So you guys are there to support, right?
Yes, for sure. And seriously, like speaking, like at first, I would say people are very afraid to approach to people. like especially when they're new to country, right?
Hmm.
Everybody is super friendly at career services. If you're watching if you're a Georgetown student watching, everybody is super friendly at career services, and you just drop in, you'll get the best experience. And even I would say, like, with every other college, it's going to be the same. Like with Canada, it's a very welcoming community. So
Yes.
everybody is very nice to you, and they're there to support you.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thing that you've added. Yes, of course, like if somebody is new, they must be feeling very overwhelmed whether I should go or no. They're gonna judge me, or maybe, like, I guess this is one thing that really stops a student from going in, especially if somebody who is coming with zero experience. Like, I don't have anything to show on my CV, but that's where they are there to support you, to help you,
Exactly.
and to help you highlight the things, the extra co-curriculars that you've already achieved, or maybe the things that you're doing here at college, which you don't know. They can shine in your
Actually,
CV.
that's what happens. Like when we're usually helping students with their resumes and stuff, they already have experience in certain other field that's like, transferable.
Yes.
But what happens is they don't recognize that they have this transferable skill from that previous experience, and they just don't mention that.
Yeah.
And instead of that, they're just mentioning some stuff that's not very relevant.
That's true.
So, like, drop in anytime. And also, I would like to say, like, our title says it, career peer coach. So we are also students. We are the same. So if you're new, we are just students. We are just buddies. So you just drop in and always have time with us.
Perfect. So this video is actually an initiative from our side to educate students that there are resources available specifically in terms of the career support, right? Because that's students needs the most, especially as you come, because that's how you open, right? Jobs are very important, and that support in terms of jobs, like, it's important, right? Because students don't know how to write cover letters, how to sit for interviews, and like when there is a place where you're getting every kind of support, and also the job posting, because you mentioned that we're posting, we have resources, our website, they'll get a lot of job postings as well. So what's better than that? So rather than just focusing on one particular saturated job market, they should look into these options that you guys are providing, for the students. So
yes, I would like to recommend everybody who's from whichever college, they must be having some career site. And there are on-campus job posting as well as off-campus, where employers, like small employers, they're not big employers, but they're still looking out and searching for new employees. And that's where our services meet. So they come to the colleges and they post these postings. So you can always try to. I just want to highlight this stuff so that people just get to know more about it, and rather than just going the conventional route of getting a job.
Exactly.
They should explore this.
Yes, so that's beautiful. So Gurkirat, that has been a very enlightening chat with you. You have helped us understand so much how exactly the career department works. We know the nitty-gritty details now, what exactly you can help the students with, especially who are coming very new. So thank you for sparing time with us and telling us everything about your duties and also about the other people that you have in your department. And it has been lovely knowing your experience, and we wish you a great luck. That you would like to highlight, maybe you want to advise international students who are just coming up and feeling anxious about the job market, or
I would just say, don't feel anxious. Like, it's easier to say than done, but at first, like, if you're coming to Canada or any other international, like, you're just moving your home, right? So just be like, I need to go. You have to be a go-getter, all right? You just have to be like, okay, now whatever comes in my way, I'll just surpass it, no matter what happens.
True.
So that's the spirit that everybody should have when they're moving, like switching their homes, because life gets tough a little bit. Like sometimes it gets tough.
Exactly.
But I would say even those tough times teach you something. So always be out there, like willing to surpass those situations. And it was actually a pleasure to be part of this. Thank you very much for inviting me as well.
Thank you so much for being a part of this and helping our students know a lot about career space. So thank you so much, Gurkirat.